Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Easy English Stories Home, where we help you improve your English skills one step at a time. It's always a pleasure to have you here, and I hope you're as excited about today's topic as I am. Today, we're going to talk about something incredibly important, yet often overlooked when it comes to improving your speaking skills: reading. Yes, you heard that right. Reading can transform the way you speak. Have you ever struggled to find the right words in a conversation or felt stuck trying to express your thoughts clearly? Maybe you've wondered, how do some people speak so fluently and confidently while I feel like I'm searching for words all the time? The answer might surprise you. A lot of it comes down to how much you read. Reading and speaking may seem like two different skills, but they are deeply connected. Think about it. Every time you read, you're exposing yourself to new vocabulary, sentence structures, and ways of expressing ideas. It's like feeding your mind with the tools it needs to build great conversations later. The more you read, the more you absorb, and the better prepared you are to speak confidently and naturally. Here's an interesting question for you. Have you ever noticed how people who love reading often have a way with words? They can express themselves effortlessly, engage others in conversation, and articulate their thoughts clearly. This isn't a coincidence. Reading doesn't just teach you words, it teaches you how to use them effectively. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how reading can make a massive difference in your speaking skills. You'll also learn practical tips on what to read, how to read, and how to apply what you've read to your conversations. So, grab your favorite book, or maybe just your curiosity, and let's dive in together. Let me know in the comments, what's your favorite book, and how do you think it's helped you in your English journey? I'd love to hear your thoughts. The science behind the connection. Now that we've set the stage, let's dive deeper into the fascinating connection between reading and speaking skills. You might wonder, how exactly does reading help me speak better? Well, it all comes down to how our brains process and retain information. Reading is like a workout for your brain. It strengthens the very skills you need to express yourself clearly and confidently. First, let's talk about vocabulary. Every time you read, whether it's a novel, an article, or even a short story, you're being introduced to new words. These words are like building blocks for communication. The more words you know, the easier it becomes to find the right ones when you're speaking. And here's the best part. When you see these words in context, you don't just learn their meaning, you understand how to use them naturally in sentences. Next, there's grammar and sentence structure. When you read, you're not just absorbing words, you're also learning how they fit together. You start noticing patterns in how sentences are formed, how questions are framed, and how ideas flow from one to another. Over time, this exposure helps you internalize correct grammar without even realizing it. So, the next time you're speaking, your sentences come out smoother and more organized. Let's not forget about expressions and idioms. Reading exposes you to the way people really talk, whether it's through dialogue in a novel or casual phrases in an article. You're learning expressions that make your speech more engaging and relatable. For example, instead of saying, "I'm happy," you might say, "I'm over the moon," a phrase you could easily pick up from a book. Another incredible benefit of reading is exposure to different writing styles. Some authors write in a straightforward, simple way, while others use more creative and descriptive language. By exploring various styles, You expand your ability to understand and articulate different tones, moods, and ideas. This versatility is invaluable when you're trying to adapt your speaking style to different situations, whether it's a casual chat with friends or a professional presentation. Finally, reading improves comprehension. As you read, your brain is constantly processing and interpreting information. This practice sharpens your ability to understand what others are saying when they speak to you. It's a two-way street. The better you understand, the better you can respond, making your conversations more meaningful and dynamic. In short, reading is a powerhouse for developing the foundational skills needed for speaking. It's not just about learning words or grammar. It's about understanding how language works as a whole. So, if you've been wondering how to improve your speaking skills, picking up a good book might just be the smartest step forward. Let me know in the comments. What's the last thing you read, and did it teach you any new words or expressions? How reading enhances speaking skills. Reading isn't just about understanding words on a page. It's a gateway to transforming how you speak. By now, you know that reading builds vocabulary and sharpens grammar, but did you know it also improves your pronunciation, tone, and pacing? While reading itself is a silent activity, its impact on your speaking skills is profound, subtle, and long-lasting. Let's explore how this works. First, let's talk about pronunciation. When you read, especially aloud, your brain processes how words are supposed to sound. Even if you're not speaking out loud, you're mentally pronouncing the words as you go along. If you pair your reading with listening to audiobooks or podcasts, you get a double benefit: hearing the correct pronunciation while visualizing the words. Over time, this improves your ability to say words clearly and confidently, especially tricky ones. Then there's tone and pacing, which are critical for effective speaking. When you read dialogues in stories or speeches in articles, you subconsciously pick up on how tone changes with different emotions or situations. You notice when characters pause for effect, speak quickly in excitement, or slow down for emphasis. This helps you understand how to modulate your tone and pace when you're speaking. For instance, reading a suspenseful story might teach you how to build anticipation in a conversation, while a motivational article could help you deliver inspiring words with energy and conviction. Confidence is another major area where reading makes a difference. The more you read, the more you expose yourself to diverse topics: science, history, culture, current events, and more. This broadens your knowledge base and makes you feel more prepared to talk about a variety of subjects in real-life conversations. Imagine being at a social event and effortlessly discussing the latest book you read or a thought-provoking article on a trending topic. That sense of preparedness reduces the fear of speaking and boosts your confidence to engage with others. Let's dive into some examples of real-life applications. Say you've been reading short stories. The dialogues between characters give you ready-made templates for everyday conversations. For instance, if you read a story where two friends are planning a trip, you've just learned how to discuss travel plans naturally. Similarly, reading news articles not only keeps you informed, but also equips you with professional vocabulary and phrasing for workplace discussions. Even reading something as simple as a recipe can teach you how to give clear, step-by-step instructions, a skill that's surprisingly useful in conversations. One of the most practical ways reading prepares you for speaking is by exposing you to different contexts. Reading novels might teach you how to narrate events, while reading opinion pieces could help you learn how to express your views persuasively. Every piece of reading material contributes to building your ability to speak with clarity, relevance, and purpose. Finally, reading indirectly hones your listening skills. By understanding how ideas flow in text, you become better at following conversations and responding appropriately. This two-way improvement, better listening and better speaking, creates a virtuous cycle, making your communication skills soar. To sum it up, reading enhances your speaking skills in subtle yet powerful ways. It trains your brain to think in the language, exposes you to new ideas, and helps you find your voice. So the next time you pick up a book, remember, you're not just reading, you're practicing to speak smarter, clearer, and more confidently. What's the one topic you'd love to talk about confidently? Share it below, and let's find a great book to help you get started. What to read for better speaking. When it comes to improving your speaking skills, what you read matters just as much as how you read. The right reading materials can make the journey enjoyable, engaging, and highly effective. So, what should you pick up to turn your reading habits into speaking superpowers? First, let's explore books. Books are an excellent choice because they expose you to a variety of writing styles, ideas, and vocabulary. If you're just starting out, begin with graded readers' books designed for English learners at different levels. These are simple, easy to understand, and often include practical vocabulary you can use in daily conversations. As you progress, dive into novels or nonfiction works that interest you. For instance, dialogue-heavy novels like Harry Potter or motivational books like The Alchemist not only improve your language skills, but also teach you how to express emotions and ideas effectively. Next, consider articles and blogs. These are great for short, focused practice. Choose topics you're passionate about, whether it's technology, cooking, fitness, or travel. Blogs and online articles often use conversational tones, making them ideal for learning how to speak naturally. For instance, reading a travel blog can prepare you to share your own travel stories, while a health-focused article might help you discuss fitness tips confidently. News content is another fantastic resource. Reading news articles keeps you updated on current events while introducing you to formal and professional language. It's especially helpful for those who want to improve their workplace communication skills. If formal news feels intimidating, start with simplified news websites like BBC Learning English or News in Levels. These platforms present news in easy-to-understand English, perfect for learners at all levels. If improving conversational skills is your goal, look for dialogue-rich content like plays, screenplays, or even comic books. These materials are packed with everyday phrases and expressions. By reading dialogues, you'll naturally learn how people exchange ideas, ask questions, and respond in real-life situations. For example, reading a comic book like Garfield or a play like Romeo and Juliet helps you understand tone, pacing, and interaction dynamics, all essential elements of speaking. Choosing the right content is just as important as the content itself. Always align your reading material with your interests and goals. If you love sports, read sports articles or player interviews. If you're preparing for a job interview, focus on business magazines or self-improvement books. Reading what you enjoy ensures that you stay motivated and engaged. It also makes learning feel less like a chore and more like a rewarding experience. Now, let's talk about a game-changing technique: reading aloud. Reading aloud trains your tongue and brain to work together, improving pronunciation, fluency, and confidence. It's like having a mini speaking practice session every time you read. Start with simple sentences and gradually move on to longer passages. Focus on your tone and rhythm, trying to mimic how native speakers sound. Reading aloud also makes you more aware of how words flow together, which helps you sound natural in conversations. Another pro tip: combine your reading with audio resources. For example, read a book while listening to its audiobook. This reinforces correct pronunciation and intonation. You can also shadow the narrator by pausing after each sentence and repeating what you hear. This method bridges the gap between reading and speaking, giving you a complete learning experience. To recap, the best materials to read for better speaking include books, articles, blogs, news, and dialogue-rich content. Always choose something you enjoy and that aligns with your goals. Don't forget to read aloud and incorporate audio resources to supercharge your learning. So, what's the first thing you'll read to start improving your speaking skills? Let us know in the comments below. Practical tips for using reading to improve speaking. Reading is a powerful tool for improving your speaking skills, but the magic happens when you know how to use it effectively. Here are some practical tips and strategies to turn your reading habits into speaking success. 1. Summarize what you read in your own words. One of the simplest yet most effective ways to connect reading with speaking is to summarize the content after you've read it. For example, if you've just finished an article about climate change, try explaining the key points aloud as if you're discussing it with a friend. This technique helps you practice organizing your thoughts clearly, strengthen your ability to recall and use new vocabulary, build confidence in articulating ideas. Start with short summaries and gradually aim for longer ones. It doesn't have to be perfect. What matters is that you're practicing speaking while processing the information. 2. Practice dialogues from books or articles. If you're reading a book or an article that includes conversations, use it as a chance to practice dialogues. For example, read aloud the conversations between characters in a novel or the Q&A sections of an interview article. You can even role-play by taking on the roles of different characters or speakers. Practicing dialogues helps you get comfortable with natural expressions and responses. Improve your tone, pacing, and rhythm. Understand how conversations flow in real-life scenarios. For added practice, record yourself reading dialogues aloud, then listen to identify areas where you can improve pronunciation or intonation. 3. Create vocabulary lists from your reading. While reading, make it a habit to note down unfamiliar words or interesting phrases. Build a personalized vocabulary list and focus on understanding the meaning of each word, learning how to pronounce it correctly, practicing its usage in sentences. For instance, if you come across the word resilient in an article, write it down, learn its meaning, and practice using it. She is resilient because she never gives up. Over time, incorporating these words into your conversations will expand your vocabulary and boost your confidence. 4. Use new words in conversations. Learning new words is only half the battle. The real progress happens when you use them. Make it a goal to incorporate at least one new word or phrase into your daily conversations. For example, if you've read about a milestone, mention it when discussing achievements. Graduating from university was a big milestone for me. Practicing new vocabulary in real-life situations not only strengthens your memory, but also helps you sound more articulate and knowledgeable. 5. Read aloud regularly. Reading aloud is a direct bridge between reading and speaking. It improves your pronunciation, pacing, and fluency while familiarizing you with sentence structures. Choose a book, article, or even a poem and read it out loud for 10 to 15 minutes daily. To make it more engaging, record yourself and listen back to track your progress. Mimic the tone and intonation of native speakers. Practice difficult words or phrases repeatedly until they feel natural. 6. Shadowing audio narrators. Pair your reading with audio narrations. For example, listen to an audiobook while following the text. Pause after each sentence or paragraph and repeat what you hear. This shadowing technique helps you improve pronunciation and rhythm. Learn how native speakers use intonation and emphasis. Gain confidence in speaking fluently. 7. Discuss what you read with others. Engage in discussions about your reading material. Join a book club, participate in language exchange groups, or simply share your thoughts with a friend. Talking about what you've read reinforces your understanding, improves your ability to express ideas, and builds conversational skills. 8. Focus on specific topics for speaking practice. If you're preparing for a specific purpose like a job interview or a presentation, choose reading materials related to that topic. For instance, read articles about workplace trends to practice discussing professional topics. This targeted reading prepares you for relevant conversations and boosts your confidence in those areas. 9. Set small goals and track progress. To stay motivated, set achievable goals like reading 1 article a day, learning 5 new words a week, or summarizing a book chapter aloud. Track your progress and celebrate small wins. These milestones will keep you motivated and eager to improve further. 10. Have fun with your reading practice. Finally, enjoy the process. Choose materials that excite you, whether it's a mystery novel, a self-help book, or a comic strip. The more fun you have, the more you'll want to practice, and the faster you'll see results in your speaking abilities. By following these practical tips, you'll turn every reading session into a valuable speaking practice opportunity. With consistency and enthusiasm, you'll notice significant improvements in your confidence, fluency, and overall communication skills. So, what will you read next? Common mistakes to avoid. While reading is a fantastic way to improve your speaking skills, there are common mistakes that learners often make, which can hinder progress. By understanding and avoiding these pitfalls, you can make your journey more effective and enjoyable. 1. Passive reading without application. One of the biggest mistakes learners make is reading passively without applying what they've learned. Simply reading a book or article and then moving on won't help improve your speaking skills. To avoid this, actively engage with the material by taking notes, highlighting new vocabulary, or jotting down interesting phrases. Practice using new words and expressions in your own sentences. For example, if you read the word intriguing in a novel, try saying, "I found the movie intriguing because of its suspenseful plot." Summarize what you've read aloud, focusing on expressing the key points clearly. Remember, the goal is to bridge the gap between reading and speaking, and that requires consistent practice and application. 2. Memorizing without understanding context. Another common mistake is memorizing words, phrases, or sentences without understanding their proper usage. Language is all about context, and words can have different meanings depending on how they are used. For instance, the word bank could refer to a financial institution or the side of a river. Memorizing phrases like break the ice without understanding that it's an idiom for starting a conversation can lead to confusion. To avoid this mistake, focus on learning how words are used in sentences. Pay attention to the context in which they appear. Look up examples of how a word or phrase is used in different situations. Practice creating your own sentences to ensure you understand its meaning and application. 3. Over-reliance on one type of reading material. Sticking to just one type of reading material, such as novels or news articles, can limit your exposure to diverse language styles and topics. While it's good to start with content you enjoy, over-relying on a single source can make your learning stagnant. For instance, novels might help you understand descriptive language and storytelling, but might not expose you to formal or technical vocabulary. News articles are great for current events, but might not teach you conversational English or idiomatic expressions. To avoid this, diversify your reading materials. Include a mix of books, blogs, articles, scripts, and dialogue-heavy content. Choose materials based on your goals. For example, if you want to improve professional communication, read business articles or reports. If you want to enhance conversational skills, try scripts or interviews. 4. Ignoring pronunciation and speaking practice. Many learners read silently and never practice speaking aloud. This can lead to a lack of confidence when trying to communicate. To avoid this mistake, read aloud regularly. Focus on pronunciation, intonation, and rhythm. Record yourself and compare your speech with native speakers. This helps identify areas for improvement. Shadow audiobook narrators or videos to mimic natural speech patterns. 5. Focusing solely on quantity over quality. Some learners try to read as much as possible, thinking it will automatically improve their skills. However, rushing through material without truly understanding it can be counterproductive. To avoid this, focus on the quality of your reading. It's better to deeply understand a single article than to skim through several without retaining anything. Take your time to analyze and absorb the material, ensuring you can use what you've learned in real-life situations. 6. Neglecting feedback and interaction. Reading alone without seeking feedback or engaging with others can limit your growth. To avoid this mistake, discuss what you've read with friends, teachers, or language partners. This encourages interaction and helps you practice speaking. Join book clubs or online forums to share insights and learn from others. Don't hesitate to ask for feedback on your speaking skills to identify areas for improvement. 7. Setting unrealistic expectations. Many learners expect instant results and get discouraged when their speaking doesn't improve overnight. Learning a language takes time and effort. To avoid this, set realistic goals and celebrate small milestones, such as using a new word in a conversation or completing a challenging article. Be patient with yourself and trust the process. 8. Relying solely on reading without other practices. While reading is a powerful tool, it's not the only way to improve speaking. Solely relying on reading without integrating listening, writing, and real-life speaking practice can slow down progress. To avoid this, pair reading with listening activities, such as audiobooks or podcasts. Write summaries or reflections to reinforce what you've learned. Actively engage in conversations to apply your reading knowledge in real-life contexts. By being mindful of these common mistakes and adopting a balanced approach, you can maximize the benefits of reading for your speaking skills. Remember, the key is to actively engage with the material, practice regularly, and embrace a variety of learning methods to become a confident and articulate speaker. Success stories. Examples of improved speaking through reading. To truly understand the transformative power of reading on speaking skills, let's look at some real-life success stories. These inspiring examples show how consistent reading has helped individuals become confident speakers in English. 1. Maria's journey, from silent learner to confident speaker. Maria, a university student from Spain, struggled with speaking English despite her solid understanding of grammar. Her biggest challenge was expressing herself fluently in conversations. Maria decided to focus on reading as a way to improve her vocabulary and build confidence. She started with short stories and articles about her favorite topics like travel and food. Maria read aloud every day, paying attention to pronunciation and tone. She also recorded herself to track her progress. By reading dialogue-rich novels, Maria learned how to express emotions and improve her conversational skills. Over time, Maria noticed a significant improvement in her speaking. She could now share her thoughts clearly and even participate in group discussions. Today, Maria confidently delivers presentations in English, all thanks to her dedication to reading. 2. Ahmed's strategy. Reading his way to job interviews. Ahmed, an engineering graduate from Egypt, wanted to improve his English-speaking skills to secure a job in an international company. However, he often found himself struggling to find the right words during interviews. Ahmed began reading business articles and professional blogs to familiarize himself with industry-specific vocabulary. He made it a habit to summarize each article in his own words and practice answering potential interview questions. Ahmed also read success stories of professionals in his field, which not only expanded his vocabulary, but also inspired him to stay motivated. Within a few months, Ahmed's confidence soared. His ability to articulate ideas clearly during interviews improved, and he eventually landed his dream job. He credits his success to the reading strategies he adopted. 3. Priya's transformation, a love for stories turned skill. Priya, a teenager from India, loved reading but never thought it could improve her speaking skills. When her teacher encouraged her to read aloud, Priya began noticing how her reading fluency translated into better speaking. She started with simple children's books and gradually moved to young adult novels. Priya practiced dialogues from books, mimicking the characters' tones and expressions. She joined a local book club, where she could discuss what she read and engage in conversations. Priya's speaking skills improved remarkably. From being shy and hesitant, she became a confident speaker who now participates in public speaking competitions and inspires others to read for growth. 4. Tom's global experience, learning through diverse reading. Tom, a traveler from the Netherlands, wanted to connect with people during his trips to English-speaking countries. He realized that his limited vocabulary and rigid sentence structures held him back in conversations. Tom began reading travel blogs, guidebooks, and cultural stories. He paid special attention to idiomatic expressions and casual phrases used in conversations. By practicing the phrases he read, Tom found it easier to interact with locals and make new friends during his travels. Today, Tom speaks English with ease and credits his ability to connect with people worldwide to the time he invested in reading. Why these stories matter. Each of these individuals had different starting points and challenges, but they all discovered the same truth. Reading is a powerful tool for improving speaking skills. Whether it's building vocabulary, gaining confidence, or understanding different conversational tones, reading creates a solid foundation for speaking fluently. These stories prove that no matter where you start, consistent reading can lead to significant improvement. Let them inspire you to pick up a book, read an article, or dive into a story today. Your journey to better speaking skills could start with just one page. Conclusion: encouraging consistent reading. As we come to the end of this session, let's recap the incredible benefits of reading for improving your speaking skills. Reading isn't just a quiet activity. It's a gateway to building vocabulary, mastering sentence structures, and gaining confidence in conversations. Whether you're practicing pronunciation, expanding your knowledge of different topics, or learning new expressions, every page you read brings you closer to becoming a fluent and confident speaker. The key to success lies in consistency. Make reading a part of your daily routine, whether it's 10 minutes with a news article, a chapter of a novel, or a blog about something you love. Remember, the more you expose yourself to the language, the more naturally it will flow when you speak. I encourage you to start today. Pick something you enjoy reading and dive in. Take it one step further by summarizing it aloud, practicing new words, or even sharing it with friends. The journey to fluency begins with small but meaningful steps. If you found this session helpful, don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who could benefit from it, and subscribe for more tips and strategies to improve your English skills. And here's your task. Drop your favorite reading materials in the comments below, whether it's a book, a blog, or an article. Let's inspire each other to grow through reading. Thank you for joining, and happy reading.